Well, hello, and welcome to part 6 of our continuous training on stress management. I hope they've been enjoyable to you. Go back and look at the first 5 again if you want, and to get caught up to where we're at. The last few weeks, we've been talking about things like avoiding stress, adapting to stress, and altering the stressors. So we've been covering a lot of things in the world of stress management, and I want to continue with another A word. It seems like I've been hitting a lot of the A words in the last 3 weeks, but I want to talk now the A word of accept the things you can't change. Some stressors in your life are just unavoidable, and you can't prevent certain stressors. You can't prevent the storms of life that comes, the death of loved ones, the serious illness, the national problems that we have. You cannot change everything. I've often said there are most of the stressors and most of the things in our life that we have to deal with. The only thing we have control over is your response, and how many times I've had to tell myself that as well. So today, as we talk about accepting the things you can't change, there's about 4 points I want to share today that may be helpful to look at. And so let's go ahead and look at some of those. Don't try to control the uncontrollable. There's many things in our life that's way beyond our control. Rather than stressing out on them, focus on the things that you can control. And as I mentioned before, sometimes the only thing we have control over is our response. What do I do have control over? What do I have control over, and what do I have no control? And with that, it helps put things in perspective of not trying to control something that's uncontrollable. Some folks have worked on trying to change the behavior of their loved ones. Some of you have got people that have addicted personalities and are addicted to a lot of things, including alcohol, drugs, and other addictions. And with no avail, you cannot control their behavior. So if you can't control it, find something that you can control. The second thing I want to talk about today is look for the upside. When facing major challenges, try to look at them as opportunities for personal growth. And I know that's real hard to do when you're in the middle of that stressful situation. But if you own poor choices contributed to the stressful situations and reflect on them, you could learn from your mistakes. I've often said I have yet to make my worst mistake, which means I'm willing to make mistakes. But when you make them, step back and take ownership of them and say, I have made a mistake. Now let's look at the upside of that and what can I learn from it. The third thing, and I have talked about this a lot in some of my anger management training before, is learn to forgive. Accept the fact that we live in an imperfect world and that people make mistakes. One of the common things that we have among all the people that you know are they are human, and humans make mistakes. If your own choices contribute to the situation, like I said before, we understand that, and sometimes forgiving ourselves is just as important as learning to forgive others. So let's look at the anger and resentment within ourselves and the anger and resentment of others, and free yourself from that negative energy that you're using to hold things against them by forgiving them and moving on. That's a way to accept the things you can't change. Another way that seems kind of flowery when we think about it, but there's some great value to it, is the importance of learning to share your feelings. Now, when I say that to men and but us guys, we go, I'm not sure about sharing our feelings. But that's why some of you men are having problems that you're having, and I want to speak to you right now. It's okay to share your feelings, and it's okay to talk it over. Now, you may, men or women alike, it doesn't matter what's uh, either one. You also need to understand who to share your feelings with is important. But when you find that right person where you can open up and feel that you are in a protected and safe place with them, a trusted friend, and you share your feelings, it's good to get it out. It's good to share what's going on inside, because if I can't control the situation, maybe by at least expressing my feelings, there'll be a sense of release, and that'll reduce your own stress. So let's talk about what we share about in reflection of what we the points we talked about today. Accepting the things you can't change. Realize that there are times that there's no way you can control everything, and try not to control the uncontrollable. Let's look at the upside. Let's look at the value that lesson can bring by the mistakes that we make. Learn to forgive. Rather than living in that world of resentment, learn to let it go. And take time to find somebody that you trust and feel safe with, and share your feelings. Hey, thanks for joining me for part number 6 on our stress management. I've got more to share in the weeks ahead, and I hope you come back and join me. If this has been helpful to you, share it with others. I've got it on Facebook on Tuesdays. I've been doing this teaching on Tuesdays, and you'll also get a recording of this on YouTube, available to share it on YouTube as well. Share it with your friends. Subscribe to my Facebook. Subscribe to my YouTube, and keep coming back for some more teaching on stress management. You all have just a great day, and I'll see you next time.